One of the things we've learned in Eswatini very quickly is that for a million different reasons, abuse is just rampant. It's a trauma that is just, it's their reality. Just kids are not valued. They are in the way, they are a problem, and they're the easiest victims when mad. And most of it is by known family members.
We talk about giving hope. We talk about just life being hopeful and dreaming. Sometimes we don't even realize that they don't even know the concept of hope to begin with.
When a kid who feels like they're nothing, they've been told over and over that they're just a problem. They're convinced that they mean nothing. When you treat that kid like she's precious, what you effectively do is you take a little seed and you plant that seed. And that seed is hope. We started with just going to communities where people were already trying to feed their kids. A community that's very small, very poor, don't have much. You start to see where sometimes they bind together. And so we would lean into those communities and say, hey, we've got the resources to provide the food if you'll provide people to cook it and you'll give us a place that we can set up a kitchen to do it. And that became the seeds of what we do now of CarePoints. We have almost 60 CarePoints around the world in 7 countries, but it all started right there in sub-Saharan Africa.
Are you all in? All right, follow me, come.
You can love people even if you can't understand their language. It's by your heart talks that language.
Yes. Oh, now I must stand like this.
What is the one thing God says to us? He says, love, love. I went to one community one day and we decided that day that we're going to wash the children's feet and we will put their shoes on and we will pray for them. And I was sitting in front of this 5-year-old boy and I asked him, just remember now 5-year-old, I asked him, what can I pray for? You know, tell me anything, what can I pray for? And he looked me in the eye and he told me that I will have a job one day. A 5-year-old is playing around, you know, he doesn't think about that. When I started with Children's Cup, I really wanted to know God's heart. And I really sat there and I asked the Lord, Lord, what do you want me to do at this CarePoints? Me, what do you want me to do? And you know, God just said to me, bring back joy to my children.
And cheese.
Rob, what's your name?
My name is hopelessness.
What's your favorite thing to do?
I'm playing the ball.
I think for me to be intentional with investing in the future, it begins with kids. Some kids, they really don't know what the future holds for them. Those that are a little bit older, they're thinking, does it even matter to be educated if the unemployment rate is so high? And then also, there's a lot of abuse that is verbally, physically. So you find some kids are exposed to domestic violence that they lose hope in what the future holds for them.
As a kid, I would come and tell you what's happening at home, sexual abuse, verbal abuse, physical abuse. But at the CarePoint, they can just get to be. They can play and be carefree and just enjoy that time before they have to step back into some of these horrible situations.
The problems at home tend to even play a major role in terms of how they view relationships, how they are being taken care of. If nobody steps in, the kids still amount to nothing, you know. Seeing kids at the age of 4 years, 5 years, just walking by themselves, you know, navigating life and trying to make ends meet at their age with siblings. I think those are some of the things that I started asking myself, what will they turn out to be if there's nobody who's intentional?
My home place is very close, just way up there. You see the road over there. There's a car. If you look down, the first home you see, that's my home place. I lived with my step-grandmother, my grandfather. Like it's a big family, an extended family.
When you were 12, your mom passed away?
Yes, beginning of that same year. I think it was HIV. It's just that they didn't want to tell me. They just said, you're not allowed to sleep in your mom's room. You just spend as less time with your mom. So learning more at school, when they talked about different symptoms, I saw, oh, this is what my mother had, this is what then I discovered then. I heard from school when she died. People kept coming and they were like, sorry, your mom is dead. For me, it was confusing because I didn't hear anything. I know she's in hospital, so I didn't feel like it was real. I still couldn't believe. I didn't cry, didn't have any emotions, like, you know. And then when I saw the coffin going down, that's when it hit me. That's when I cried. I was hoping one day she'd come back and be my mom, just be there for me. So I saw that I will no longer have that opportunity. There was word going around there's going to be a kitchen, a soup kitchen. It's for children. Please come, bring firewood. So we went there. First we were nervous because we don't know what to expect. Yeah, so we went there. There were so many of us, but it was very nice. Most of my hurt was something from home. Beatings, and also emotional pain. My grandmother used to be like verbally abusive. She'd always make sure that I remember that my mom died. You don't have a mom, who are you talking to? Or my father doesn't really care about you, he doesn't pay your school fees and all those things. And she never called me by my name. Sometimes she'd call me a dog. You know, all those things, just out of nowhere. You'd come here, you see all the love, you see all these kids, they're having fun, and you're thinking, why am I going to play when I have this pain over here and you can't tell them you're having this pain? So I would maybe sit somewhere for some time and then come. And then Kay would notice, oh, she's not feeling fine. Are you okay? Kay Boyovich, she was my leader here at Logoba CarePoint. She was a true friend. A true friend is someone who's always going to tell you the truth. Someone who's not going to lie to you just to make you feel better. We live in a culture where when you learn about God, it's always like, God is strict, God is this. But for her, she's like, God can be anything you need. If you lost your mom, talk to him as a mom. Tell him how you feel. If you need a friend, he can be like that. She knew. Even if she asked me out, just be quiet. So she'd just hug me and then tell you she loves you, and then she goes. And then it made me feel better. It made me understand that she's here for me.
Kay was there and just loving on her and just treated her special. And for the first time in Lile's life, she felt like, man, somebody sees me, somebody cares, I matter to somebody. She's a tree. She grew up at a CarePoint. The seeds of hope were planted. Now she's a tree that's given hope to so many other kids. I've watched her do it. She is so sharp in her perception of what's going on in that community. And it's not easy. What she's doing is not easy. But if you rewind before she has kids, before she gets married, before her training in ministry, before you go back, she's a little girl getting abused by a family member. Look what hope can do. It turned that whole story around. Her story that she was headed for was nothing. You are nothing. You matter not at all. You're in the way. You're a problem. And now she's living out that she has purpose in her life, and she's giving purpose to so many other, giving hope to so many other kids. It's a beautiful picture of what hope can do. You're in Kay's position now, you know. So when you see 12, 13-year-old girls at your CarePoint, maybe they're being told at home that they're worthless, being called names, or being beaten. How do you take what your experience was and help those girls, those boys that you work with now?
I always try to, the first thing is I always try to tell them at the CarePoint that they are all beautiful and that they are all loved. My dream and my future is to help the youth discover their talents. I want them to be in one place where they have a passion and their talents are like used in a good way. So that is my dream, to help them discover their talents and to always have a safe place where they come together and not feel like they're alone. So yeah, that's my dream.
It planted seeds in her heart, and then those seeds were watered, and that the garden of her soul was tended to by people at that CarePoint loving her, other kids at the CarePoint being her friend, the people working at the CarePoint being a friend to her. And before you know it, her life was just blossoming, and she's actually running a CarePoint for Children's Cup. She's the lady who's in there teaching the kids hope, giving them hope. She's listening, she's leaning in. Lile's doing that.
Being at Children's Cup, they really care. They really let you open up. So I found healing in that. You know, God, when He creates people, even if they're twins, He spends time with one person. He takes His time creating you, speaking life to you. The fact that you are breathing, it means that you are special. There's a saying that we always say, this is not our place. It's for everyone. In this CarePoint, it's written Children's Cup. You matter. Doesn't matter which home you come from. You come in there, it's because you are loved.
It's not that we came in and built palaces for the people. We don't. We just provide a safe place. And I know we cannot change the world. You cannot. We try to, but you can't. But it's for stopping for this one. And then stopping for the next. Because otherwise you will get so overwhelmed. And I just felt that we as Children's Cup stopped for the one. All of us have a part in the story, belong to that little child's future, because this is what we want to do. We want to change the future of children.
What's your name? Give me 5. Give me 5. The CarePoint is a place for the kids to feel safe. They're given food, a place to play. Outside of the CarePoint, they really don't have that.
Even though they live in some of the hardest circumstances on the planet, they still have this heart of gratitude, the joy and the love and the happiness. At our CarePoints, they become this light in the community. Kids don't change because of a program, they change because of people and connections. Not just the friendships and connections of our staff at the CarePoint, it's the connections of that friend who is on the other side, just cheering them on, giving them that encouragement, letting them know they can make it, they can become something, and they have that hope they can change their world.
When kids come into the gate, when we open the gates, because we open gates to many children, and the children comes with not just to be hungry because I need food. They come hungry because they want a safe place. They want hope. They want love. That's why they come into our CarePoints, isn't it? That's why they run. You can see that at Mooiplaas, how kids just they run because they're free there.
Dream every day about the future of Children's Cup and where it's going to go. And just hearing stories from the kids on our trips and conversations with our team, and you see the difference that is being made, you start to realize that even more can be done, and there are more kids out there that we can reach. As we hear these stories and we talk about these stories with these kids, that you're talking about a family member abused them, it's so easy to sit here and say, that's the villain, the kids are the victims. But in reality, those family members, they're victims too. They are just, that no one stopped to say, let's disrupt this cycle for you. Let's stop and help you see that there is a different life. And so if we don't do that as Children's Cup, that just continues. We're not just disrupting a cycle of poverty, but we're disrupting a cycle of brokenness. And when that CarePoint comes in as that light in the community, it is literally disrupting the darkness. It's disrupting the lives that they say, this is my life, this is what I've dealt with, I don't know any different. And we're saying life can be different, life can be better. And if we come in and we start there with that healthy, happy disruption of that CarePoint, then you can start to see things change in those families. There's still going to be more and more of these stories of abuse and pain, but these CarePoint becomes that place, that light that disrupts that darkness.